Hello and welcome to the Rising Coaches Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Bender, and today's episode is brought to you in part by one of our favorite sponsors, Dr. Dish. Dr. Dish is by far the best shooting machine on the market. If you want a discount off a new machine, be sure to mention Rising Coaches to save up to $300. For more information, visit drdishbasketball.com or visit one of their social media platforms at Dr. Dish B Ball. Also, if you're not already a member and are interested in joining the largest coaching tree in basketball, visit risingcoaches.com to sign up today. You will build genuine relationships with other coaches, have access to amazing content that will allow you to develop your craft, expand your network, and see job opportunities on our member site that are not posted anywhere else. For more information, visit risingcoaches.com. Today's guest is Hansen Wong, the manager of the G League and international scout for the Indiana Pacers. Hansen, how we doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Hey, thanks for coming on today. I know we're both fellow Minnesota Golden Gophers, and we got a Dr. Dish sponsor who is based out of Minnesota. So we have a full Minnesota Rising Coaches podcast here. But thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it. Give our audience here a little background on yourself. Who are you? Why are you important enough to be on this podcast? Why did you say yes to me? Give us a little rundown. How did you get to where you are?
So I don't know if I'm important enough, but happy to be here since you asked me. And I'm not sure if I am as good as a guest as of your past episodes because I did some homework before I got on here. So make sure I know what I'm talking about. And but just a little bit about myself. I said yes because I know you since you were a kid, before you even a coach. So like I don't have a typical background like most of you guys. I'm not from America. Like I was born in Hong Kong, not a long time ago. Most of your audience weren't even born yet when I was born, and I moved here as an exchange student in 1995. Also in Minnesota, Crookston, Minnesota. You guys like northwest, right next to Grand Forks, North Dakota. So went to high school there, then stayed. Then went to college. So like never thought of working in basketball because that's not something that really in my mind. I was a fan growing up, so like the NBA and all that stuff. Played a little basketball. I can't mean most people say, yeah, I played in high school, I played in college. That's not me. Like I played in Hong Kong, that doesn't count. That's like worse than the YMCA league over there. So I'm not very good. So just kind of like long story short, so I graduated undergrad from Minnesota in 2001 with a business in management of information system and finance. Thinking of going into the business world, get a job. Couldn't get a job. Well, one is that I wasn't a citizen. I didn't have a green card, so nobody even wanted to interview me. And so I thought about like what I'm going to do, and somehow I decided to go to grad school. Went back to Minnesota for grad school, got my master's degree in kinesiology. I didn't study a class in kinesiology. Like you can pick kinesiology and park and rec, and park and rec just didn't sound very good. Like kinesiology sounded like a little more sophisticated, maybe it sounded a little more smarter. So I went that route. But my emphasis was in sport management. So got that. Somehow I got a part-time job with the athletic department in the IT department, just to fix computers and stuff. That's kind of my thing, to kind of help people in tech support and stuff. And somehow, funny thing was at the time when I was in grad school, one of my classmates was the assistant men's track coach, and I helped him a lot. I even helped him with the students too. Like when you just talked about you got one of the kids got an algebra test, like kind of like that. I was helping him out on the side, and he asked me, "Say, hey Hansen, is there anything I can help you out? Since you've been helping our team so much," I said, "How about you help me get a job with the basketball team?" I was jokingly saying that, didn't think of anything that would turn out. So turned out like he talked to the head track coach, and the head track coach went to talk to the head men's basketball coach at the time, then Coach Munson. Somehow I got so I went to meet with him, a couple of the coaches, and he said, I don't really have anything, but I can offer you job as a video coordinator. I didn't even know what that was. So it's, okay, I do it. So that's how I got in. So, but at the end of the day, it's not really a video coordinating job. It's just more like a student manager. It's just so like, but they didn't have to pay me because I was volunteer, like so. So gotta be a part of the team. Through that, got to meet JB Bickerstaff, also another former Golden Gophers. And funny thing is that I never thought of trying to get a job in the NBA. Like when you're in college basketball, you think like Division One basketball, that's it. Like this is the best thing in the world. Like this is the best. Like everything. Like who cares about the NBA? NBA sucks. But I mean, I need a job after after 2 years of grad school, so I kind of like keep like JB was with the team for a year. Then he left to be the color commentator for Timberwolves radio. But I kept bugging him, and then he finally said, "Hey, I'm coming to the game tonight. Get your resume to me. I can get you an interview with the Indiana Pacers." Like, cool. So the connection was Mike Brown was the associate head coach for the Pacers, and Mike Brown started his NBA career with JB's dad Bernie, long time ago. That's how I got hooked up, and got an interview. Fortunately, I got a job. At the time, it was an internship, a video internship with the Pacers. So that's how I started it. So that was back in 2004. So I've been with the team since 2004. Been with like few head coaches. Like my first head coach was Rick Carlisle, then Jim O'Brien, then Frank Vogel, Nate McMillan. And now we got Coach Carlisle back again. So, but now I'm in a different role. So I started as a video intern, assistant video coordinator, Then got a title changed into a director of basketball information and technology. Just different title. I was still on the coaching staff. Then a few years ago, I got moved into my current role as a scout. So that's that. Like I don't know how much time you got for me to tell my story, but just a long story short, it's been in the league for 18 years. So that's that.
That's quite the journey. It's very unique. How often is it that you mentioned a couple of coaching changes within the Pacers organization that someone like yourself kind of quote unquote holds on, stays with it, whether you were intern, assistant video coordinator, a technology title, and now a scout. Like how is that normal?
I mean, I know it's not typical, I would say, but I think it just kind of. I think it would I was just in a unique position that like even when we were changing head coaches, like one of the assistant coaches always stays on, and because of that, like the videos that kind of stayed on too, and plus like I mean I don't want to put it this way, like as a video guy, I don't think like we were making enough money or important enough for people to get rid of us. You just keep doing your job. If you don't screw up, you're fine. So I kind of like that. So like I don't like even when I was a video guy, I never really made any fuss, so I didn't cause any trouble. So I think that's good enough for them to keep me around.
Makes sense. So I met you back when we played in the Big Ten tournament when I was at Minnesota. I was a manager.
Yeah.
And we had been with the Pacers, and Nate Grover hooked us up. We came and we saw a little tour, and you were like probably the first NBA affiliate person that I ever met, and I was just astonished. You telling me like the hours that you worked as a video person. Like, walk us through like, hey, as an intern or as an assistant video or video coordinator, like, what is it that you actually do, and how long? Like, what type of hours are you looking at? How do you survive?
Well, I think time has changed. The nature of the job has also changed. Like when I first started it was like like back in the day when you're a manager, you never play basketball. Like the video room kind of the way for you to get in to the NBA. So and like when I first started it, technology wasn't that advanced in terms of doing video. So I was still like doing VCR like deck to deck. I mean, I don't know some of your audience may not even know what those are. Like So I still got like DVDs and stuff. Like, and the whole video room, we got like one computer, only one computer. Like most of the time, I was hitting like play and pause, like record and pause like that. So if some of your audience feel a little puzzled after today's episodes, they might want to go Google what a VCR and VHS is. So they can probably get a little bit more context on what I'm talking about. But uh, like because of the technology is not that advanced, you really have to like manually do a lot of stuff. So you gotta get in early, like get all the like get all the record the previous night record the game ready. Then you start schedule all the game for that same night. Then like I have to film practice. You gotta set up all this camera, and so it's really like I told you like let's give you a typical day. Give you the worst day ever. Like just the worst typical day. It was when I was with Coach O'Brien. Like I thought like we got other video guys too. So my boss and I too like we thought we worked hard before, but we didn't know what was working hard looked like until we worked for Coach O'Brien. Like he said he usually start his day at 6 o'clock. I mean, shoot, 6 o'clock, I mean, that's early. So, like, that means when head coach get there at 6 o'clock, you better be there early because, like, so I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and Coach O'Brien was also a little bit more, like, I'd say probably a little more ahead of the game at the time because he really into those analytics stuff. Like, I didn't even know what they were. I had to go in there, print out like 300 pages, like two big folders of like he called it a book. I mean, literally, got a book, like two of them, one for our own team, one for the opponent. I go in there, would take me 2 hours to print all this stuff up, and then have to three-hole punch them and put it on the binder so I can put it on his desk by the time he gets it. So that was like how I start every day. And throughout the day, like I would do like end of game tape, like every game that was end up being 6 points or less. I would go like like deck to deck for the last 2 minutes of each game and do that. That takes time. Then practice start like I either go out there to film the practice or I have to go out there to run the shot clock, just do whatever it was. And after I come back, uh, do whatever it is that I have to do for my bosses or the coaches. Like most of the time I would go out to buy everybody lunch. So that take up some time too. So like I mean it's really like it's very tedious job, but it's kind of part of like you're the low man at the totem pole, so you just keep doing it. That's how you do it. And at the time I was young too, so when you're younger, you don't really need to sleep that much. So that's how I survived. So I told you like probably like 80 hours a week. You just keep going because there's no day off until the off season. So that's pretty much it.
So looking back at it now, so now you're kind of in the front office and doing some scouting and different aspects with the G League. Tell us a little, like, was that worth it back then? Like, now that you don't have to log probably 80 to 100-hour work weeks, but you're still working really hard. Kind of walk us through what you do now on the daily.
Well, I think everything you do along your career is definitely worth it because you learn something along the way, like even the tedious things, right? Like even when you go get lunches, you gotta pay attention to details so you don't screw up your coach's order. You know what I mean? So that but the thing is that you really learn like what go behind the scene for the team to perform, and everyone has a role to play for a team to succeed. And even when you're the lowest man in totem pole, like, you still have to like be a star in your role. So you can prepare yourself for the next step. And I think one of the most important things that I learned, even like till now, is that you have to always be prepared for the next things. You don't know when it's gonna happen. Like somebody like if my boss go down that he can't work, I have to be able to step in to do this job. So that's same for everybody. So like even I think it's important to learn everything because like even now like I mean I don't really have anyone under me, but when I was a video guy like even when I had some video guys when I had some assistant video guys below me, I'm not gonna ask them to do anything that I don't know how to do. Like I you just have like you have to have the experience to do something to show people you can do it, then you can lead other people to do it too. So I mean this so like I mean at the time you probably think all those stuff sucks, you know, like why am I to do all this stuff? But like, I think everything adds up. It's part of your experience, and I mean to build like I mean to build characters, you know.
Yeah, perspective is everything. You know how you view it and how you can quote unquote not get through it, but utilize and figure out what lesson you're learning in that specific event and what you're going through. And I think that's really powerful what you just said, and things that our audience should really take note of. You're not too big to do any task. You have to do everything detailed. You have to realize that the path, part of that journey is going to prepare you for whatever that is that happens next, and knowing how to do your job and being able to be observant and have enough awareness to realize what other people are doing so you can step in the event that there is some changes. I think that's really powerful.
Yeah, because one thing I always keep in my mind is that you're never too big to do anything. So, like, like once you get to a point, I don't know, like high major program or something like, when you feel like when you get to a point, at some point in the career, you're entitled of something that you feel like you're too big to do something else that you used to do, like a little thing, even like wipe the sweat off the floor, like the ball roller right next to your feet. I mean, you can just pick it up. Like, some coaches might not do that. Some people, I'm too big for it, but like I think it's little things like that. I think people notice, like even like get off the bus. Some coaches might just walk away and not let's just wait for their bags to get delivered to the room. Like, I mean, it's okay to just take some time to help the equipment guy to unload the bus and stuff. So like this all these things. I mean, all these things adds up. Like if I think people notice like who you like what kind of person you are by doing all these little things.
You've modeled the way for a long time, and that's probably why you have been with the organization for 18 years. That work hasn't gone unnoticed. So talk us through what an international scout, has that always been kind of a title? Do most teams have that in the NBA organizations? Are you one of multiple on your own staff? Walk us through what is the international scout? You travel? Do you do most of the video watching? Talk to us about that.
Okay, very good questions. Yes, I believe every team has that. I mean, yes, at least one guy. I mean, I've only been with one team, so I can only speak for myself. For us, we have two scouts in Europe, so they take care of the Europe, like the whole Europe, like. So I basically got the rest of the world. Like, I'm kind of like the guy that's kind of like still in the holes in the organizations, like so, and like the NBA has the NBA Academy, so that's kind of like my main job to keep my focus on that, to know what's going on, to know the people there, to know the players. Then being a Chinese, naturally there's handy Asia, and now what I also have South America, Africa, like since nobody really do that. I mean, people kind of pay attention to Australia, but nobody really technically do it. So I kind of start doing my own stuff because I know people there too. So that, so it's really like when you ask if the job involving traveling to those countries, yes, but not all the time. I think like at the end of the day, most talents are in this country, so this is the main focus. But teams doing international stuff because now you look at the NBA, even in college basketball, right? You got international players, so you have to kind of like finding diamond in the rough, but not like you have to know what's going on. Like not necessarily go out there to physically watch those players, but you have to know the people in those areas. So to build relationship, develop a network. So when people say, "Hey, I got this guy, it's pretty good," you may want to pay attention to it. So you start with watching film. If it's really, then you tell the boss if it's really good. then maybe you go over there to watch it. So that's how like that's how I usually work. Because I mean, it's now with COVID, you can't really go anywhere. So like video and network, the network that you have in different places plays a very important role when it comes to international scouting.
Makes sense. Now you mentioned Africa, and I know you did something this summer with the Nigerian national team. How'd that come about? And tell us about the big exhibition win that you guys had.
Well, that was a very unique and good experience. So as we all know, that Mike Brown was the head coach. I found out that he was a head coach on the ESPN article. I didn't know about that. So like like we kind of lost contact for a few years, but like that's one time I was in Oklahoma City, and just happened Golden State was also in town, and one of my good friends was on the coaching staff, so I went to meet up with him. That happened. Coach Brown was also there, so we kind of reconnect. So he gave me his number again, so we kind of like stay in touch. And then when I saw that he got the job, I texted him, say, "Hey, congrats, coach! But if there's anything I can help you with, let me know. I would love to get involved." At first, he said he got he didn't really have anything because his staff is already set, but he would let me know. I was like, "Cool," because I've always wanted to get involved with the international level, like national team basketball. So I mean, you know what, doesn't have to ask, right? The worst I guess a no. But then, like after a while, he texted me and said, "Hey, Hansen, would you be interested in helping us to do some advanced scouting?" I said, "Sure, I want." So that's how I got connected. Of course, like COVID hit. I mean, 2020 Olympic didn't happen. Then, so fast forward to this past summer, uh, didn't really know if it's going to happen because COVID is still here. Most likely going to remains here forever. So didn't know if things going to happen, but like he called me and said, "Hey, I want you to come to our training camp. You know, like we stay as long as you want, just be with us." I'm like, "Cool, fine." So end up happening. Went out to Oakland, then to Vegas for the training camp. So like it's really cool to get to meet all these people. Like I don't know where he found all these coaches. To be honest with you, like he got like I don't know that there's like 20 coaches out there helping him doing the training camp. It's like oh, there's a lot of people. But he also had a lot of players too. So it's fun to see all these young players. Some go through the camp. Then afterward, you got the pros start coming in. And when it comes to when you talk about the exhibition win over USA, it was cool. I mean, I was there because I was like, so it just that was probably the best game that the team played. To be honest with you, like we were physical. Like, we took it to the NBA guys, and I think that the Team USA kind of overlooked us, thinking that they could just show up and win the games. But like I think we were like the guys been together for like at the time that the game being played, I think we were together for almost a month. No, some guys are a month, but the NBA guys on our team probably only 2 3 weeks. So like they're kind of like I mean, that's kind of like cohesion going on. Like the guys are ready, like been beating up each other for a long time, so it's time to take it out to other teams. So, and the thing is, funny thing is that we were supposed to play a scrimmage against Argentina before that USA game, but then somehow had something happen, some COVID related stuff happened. The game got canceled, so guys are disappointed. They were just waiting to play the game. So when the game came, everybody like was ready to go. And so during the game, like we were like, oh, you know what, we might get a chance to win this game. Then keep looking up the scoreboard, keep looking up, so oh, we might win this game. Then we win. Like at the time, like after, like I didn't realize how big of a deal that was. But then I went to up to social media, like there's Nigerian basketball, all this Nigerian just post it, share all this Twitter and Instagram. Like, oh, sure, like we just made history, even though it's only an exhibition game. So it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's really cool. You've now been a part of an NBA organization, and then you just talked about the Nigerian experience. You've been around some really high level basketball players and some unique characters as well. From a Lance Stevenson type to Larry Bird, Reggie Miller, Paul George, different guys. Give us like maybe one story about one of those guys or something, that interaction with you or somebody else maybe that the world doesn't know or doesn't understand, that maybe you could share. Give us a little insider information on what it would be like to be around those people.
I mean, I think people usually sometimes forget that like even those guys, like so-called celebrities, and they're just like us, like normal people. When you get a chance to sit down and talk to them, they're just like you and I talking right now. It's pretty normal. I mean, of course, like everybody got to do little things here and there. Like people, like, we are all characters to a certain extent. Like we are all weirdos. So, but like when you talk about stories, or like I know you asked me about Larry Bird story one time. It was early, like in my first couple of years when we first drafted Danny Granger, and I think it was still the off season before the training camp. So like he was working out, rebounding. It's towards the end of his workout. I don't remember he was shooting it bad, but he might be missing some shots. So Larry was watching. So towards the end of the workout, he's walking out. And then somehow the ball rolled to Larry's feet. Then like Larry looked at us and said, "Hey, Danny," he said, "you got a long time to go, son." Then he just picked up the ball. It's a long two. Just no warm up, anything. Pick up the ball. The body is sideways. Body is towards the door, walking out. The basket's on the baseline, so look facing that way. He picked up the ball and shoot it. They even looked, and he walked off. But the ball went in. So I said, "Hey, I mean, to me, it's just like, you got a long way to go, son." And they made it. Then another time was like, I forgot who that was. Not somebody that like not the tier one players, but shooting free throw. But he kept missing it. Larry, being Larry, came out, just picked up the ball and started straining free throws, right? Then I was right next to him. He looked at me and said, "Man, like, Hansen, I don't understand that. How hard is that?" He's just looking at me, just I just keep looking, keep making them. And he said, "You know what? Like, I don't understand why people did a rebounder for free throw. All you got to do is just hit the bat rim every time. The ball comes right back to you. Pop, pop, pop." That's what he does. So just keep doing so. That's a couple. Little things here and there. Like whenever you be around like people like Larry, like you just shut up and listen to what he says, because those guys got so many stories.
That's a cool experience. Yeah, not many have that on their repertoire, right there. But Larry Bird, special player. So, well, good. So, kind of in conclusion here. So, what happens next? So you've done all these different things. You've climbed the chart within the organization, and what happens next for Hansen Wong? Do you want to stay as a scout forever? Do you want to get into front office higher up? Do you ever want to coach? What's kind of next for you?
Well, eventually, I would love to run my own team. So don't know when would that happen, but hopefully that's the goal. Like when it comes to coaching, like never say never, but when it comes to coach, I would prefer in the national team level, because I like that. Like it's like kind of means more. Like I'm not saying like NBA doesn't mean anything. It got a kind of pride into it, because you're representing a country. So that is something special, and hopefully I would be able to do that for my own country. I would love to coach the Chinese national team. I don't know if that will happen, but hopefully one day it will. But yeah, that would be something that I would like to do. But what's my next? Just keep working and see what happens next.
Well, I hope that dream comes true for you. For all those guys listening or girls listening today, what would you tell them about, hey, how can I get in the NBA, or where do I have to get my foot in the door, or I'm in college, how did I get an MBA? Your story is just so unique, and you've done such a good job of working so hard and diligently and detailed, and you do people right. So for others, what would you tell them? What's the best way? What's the best avenue to get in?
Well, I think you have mentioned it with other guests, with some of your guests in the past. This is a relationship business, just like anything else. You have to know the right people. I mean, luck plays a big part of it because there's only 30 teams and everybody wants to get in. Um, Nowadays, I think the opportunity kind of expanded because with the G League, you can get another avenue to go in. Now, I would say it's harder to be a video guy because, like I said before, the nature of the video coordinator, the job is changed. Now you need to be on the court. They're looking for former players to be able to go play. So nowadays, people, when they interview people, the first thing they ask is, how tall is that guy? I mean, it's like looking for free agents right now. So every time I see those sort of like tall video guys nowadays, whether being is at our home games or on the road, I always give them tough time because I told them they're taking away our jobs. But um, but I would say the G League is a good avenue because you don't because now the G League is not only developing the player, they also developing the coaching staff, front office, and whoever that is. So there's a good avenue. But at the end of the day, you really have to put yourself out there. It's easier to say than done. To meet people, sometimes not sometimes, most of the time people don't like random emails. People don't like random messages. It's like, who's this guy? You keep asking for jobs and stuff. People don't like that. But I think you still have to put yourself out there to meet the right people because it only takes one person to like you to get a job. You don't need 30 people to like you. You only takes one person. So you don't know who that would be. So I mean, like be a good person, work hard, and be careful of what you put on social media. Don't do anything stupid because people will find will go into your Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram before they interview you because they will find out everything about you before they meet you, or whether made it over Zoom or in person. So I would say that's a one big thing is that be careful what you put out there on social media because when it's out there, it's not coming back.
Yeah. Well, you've laid low and you've gotten the job done. So, I'm proud to call you my friend. I appreciate you taking the time today to be on the podcast and share your words of wisdom. And, look forward to watching you continue your journey.
Of course. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.